Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Residents of Evil podcast, episode 24. Today, I am joined by ROE Team members Ali.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome.
Tony.
Greetings, all.
And AJ.
Yo, guys.
Hey, all right. So, we have a pretty packed episode today. It's been a while since we actually did a podcast, so we learned quite a bit of Resident Evil 2 remake news that we're going to try to cover as much of it as possible today. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. We are streaming this podcast live, and towards the end of the podcast, we're actually going to be taking some live viewer questions. So if you guys have any questions for us, just ask away. AJ will pull them out and put them to the side, and we'll read them. We'll get to them later. We'll ask you guys later. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for joining us. It's been a while since we did a podcast. I think the last one we did was actually during the announcement, right after the announcement of the Resident Evil 2 remake, when we were all kind of giving our first impressions. That was a crazy night, like a night I'll never forget. What do you guys think of that night? That when a Resident Evil 2 remake was finally announced at E3 2018.
That was fucking insane.
It was amazing.
That's a good way to summarize it. Yeah. So the hype, I would say, has come down, but it really hasn't. I'm still super excited for this game, but yeah, so I guess with that being said, let's just jump right into it. The first thing I want to start with today is we got the deluxe edition was shown off of the Resident Evil 2 remake. And it was priced, I believe, $10 more than the actual game itself. And it looked, pretty cool. They had some really cool items in there. I'm not going to go over them right now because we kind of discussed that in videos. And then after that, we got the collector's edition, which came with the Leon figure, the 12-inch Leon figure, poster, the item box, the art book, and all that. And then that was $200. Some people say that's a little high. I think for what you're getting, it kind of makes sense, but I do agree it's a little high. But then the big thing that was just announced is the Resident Evil 2 remake premium edition and the limited edition. This is the Japanese version. And that's kind of what's the big news going on right now. A lot of people feel like it is a ripoff, and I can completely agree with those people. But all right, what's included in the Resident Evil 2 remake limited edition? That comes with the Resident Evil 2 Collector's Edition that has the 12-inch Leon figure, the art book, the soundtrack, and the item box, along with the extras that's included in the deluxe edition and the poster. And it comes with a raccoon. Oh, I'm sorry, I already said that. Official art book and soundtrack. I already had that. 4 ink ribbons. Okay, so these are like Scotch tape, duct tape, and they have like a warning sign, caution tape, a few other things on them. Just basically rolls of tape that look like ink ribbons. They're cool. They're cool looking. And the biggest thing it comes with is the Bluetooth Lexington vintage keyboard with Bluetooth, and it's basically a Lexington keyboard with Umbrella logos on it. On the surface, it looks really cool until you see that price tag, and it's coming in around $900 US, which is insanely high. So I want to start with you guys. What do you guys think about this Resident Evil 2 Premium Edition?
I gotta say something. Let's stop calling it the Premium Edition and start calling it the Resident Evil 2 Etsy Edition. This feels like all Etsy stuff, man. Like,
I agree.
Like fan-made ink ribbons and somebody else's keyboard with the sticker on it.
That is legitimately what this kind of seems like.
Yeah.
So
like the statue's cool for the collector's edition, like the real one, not the whatever premium super deluxe, one that we're getting with this. But like the statue, the poster, that's all good stuff. This $900 one is ridiculous.
Yeah, I totally agree. What do you think, AJ, about this? Are you going to get it?
The standard collector's edition?
Yeah, no, the Etsy edition, the limited edition.
No way in hell. That's a complete ripoff. I think they're pretty much just depending on the nostalgia. They're depending too much on the nostalgia, ripping people off, and you can get that keyboard by itself for $250 on Amazon right now without the logo.
You can resell it on Etsy for.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry, man. That's awesome. I love it.
Call it how you see it. It's a pretty clear cash grab. Tony, what do you think about this?
Well, actually, I'm going to be the odd man out. I already love it. I've already pre-ordered 4 so I can scalp them.
Oh, perfect. What a great way to start. At least you're honest, Tony.
No, like this is something that happens a lot with collecting. Being as probably the biggest collector here in the group is the fact that this is something I've kind of grown sadly accustomed to. Because I mean, if you all remember what came with like Resident Evil 6 and what we got for the American versions, and like what compared to like what the Europeans and the Japanese got. Same with like Resident Evil 5. It's a shame that they think that this is only something people in Japan would want. I mean, granted, $900 is a lot. I think this thing could have been probably priced at $300 even.
Yeah.
But holy crap!
What?
We just got $100. I think that's $100 donation.
I think that's Canadian.
Canada.
That is a
wow.
huge donation, though.
That's still.
That is a lot. T King
Thank you, T King, our neighbor from the
Oh
north.
my god. Thank you so much, man. Holy shit. I can't stay long, but I'd rather blow money on you guys than some premium edition anything. Hope the ROE game is coming along
That
well.
is
Thank you
awesome.
so much, man.
This
God
guy just
damn.
became my new best friend.
That is crazy,
I
dude.
love the Canadians.
Thanks for blowing your money on the ROE. Appreciate that a lot, man. All right.
But yeah, no, like I said, it's just it's a shame that they think they can charge that much. It'd be one thing if it was like I think like Resident Evil 6 for one of the Japan ones came with like Leon's jacket for like $1,000 and like you got the leather jacket or something,
Yes.
or there was like a Stars one at one point. So those ones made a little bit more sense because you're getting a leather jacket. So that makes sense in many ways for $1,000 plus all the other cool stuff you get with it. But $1,000 or 900 for all these things. Plus you got to think of import prices if you're in America or anywhere else. It's not worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the duct tape is cool, but it does seem like something somebody could make on Etsy. Like it says it has little notes, scribbled on it, so you could read like the notes that they sent to Leon, and then one's a caution tape or a keep out, and they're cool. But when you take 4 rolls of duct tape and a keyboard that right now is the exact same keyboard is selling for $250 brand new, and you throw an umbrella logo on it, and then you have a fancy picture with Leon, standing over it. It doesn't raise the price to $900. Now, we should include that the $900 price tag does come with, the stuff in the collector's edition, which runs for $200. So when you take off that $200, it's about, I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's about $600 for this keyboard and duct tape. So, yeah. I mean, I'm with you guys that the Resident Evil 6 one was ridiculous too for $1,000 with that jacket. And I still think that wasn't a good deal, but they're clearly. I think it's great that they have these high tiers, but I feel like if they're going to make these super premium editions, why not add some really cool, worthwhile items? Rather than just kind of blatantly exploiting the hardcore fans that want this stuff. I mean, when I seen it, I was like, oh my god, that keyboard looks amazing. Like first glance, I was like, I want that. But I would never be able to live with myself, and I could get that same keyboard for quarter the price, basically.
Yeah.
A little more than that, but still, it's very high. So, yeah. Aside from that, I think the deluxe edition with the DLC and all that's cool. There's some things that some people have mentioned that should be included in the game, and I kind of agree, like this, the music swap. But you're getting a lot of costumes. I think that's really neat. And then the collector's edition, a lot of people wanted to see a Claire statue, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But like statues usually go for quite a bit of money, and when you take off the game in the deluxe edition, you're not paying a lot more for that, and you're getting the poster, the item box, and the art book. So even the collector's edition at being a little high, it seems all right. But this premium edition.
Sorry to interrupt you, dude, but No Acceptance donated £5 asking, "Where's sexy daddy JJ?"
Right here, buddy. Thank you so much.
And Rob Bob Movies donated $10. He says, "If you want to make a serious scalping, find a guy who can modify those $250 Amazon keyboards."
I could do it. I've got a printer, and I could print out some stickers that say umbrella, and I right here.
There we go.
That's
I'm
what's
locking down
funding
the
the ROE,
market,
baby. You guys with these super
Official
chats
ROE
and
keyboards.
Ali making keyboards. Just illegal.
counterfeit
So
keyboard.
everybody shut up, but gotta fund it somehow.
I have to be honest. The first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, they're giving us like a full typewriter," and then I
Yeah.
found out it was a keyboard. I was really disappointed.
So would you have been happy if it was an actual typewriter where you could type on paper? Like,
Actually, yeah,
that would be
Like,
pretty
hell
neat,
yeah,
hey?
This is like a real legit heavy.
Yeah.
all,
Is this like a collector's
no
piece
play,
that
make
you've-
jack, don't play.
they took it from a museum and they're like, hey, look, there's
Yeah.
only like one of these, and pretty much don't tell anybody when you buy this, but it's a legit typewriter.
Yeah.
Real typewriter from like 1950.
We took it from the local museum down the road.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so now moving on. That was like the latest big sort of news, but there's still a lot more. Okay, so like I said, they showed off the collector's edition. A lot of fans were, disappointed that we didn't see a Claire statue. We got a Leon statue, and we got a gameplay trailer basically with all Leon and just a glimpse of Claire. And we got a demo with just Leon. Now we did get, some concept art of Claire. We got to see her outfit, and and it looks fantastic. The updated version, we have that included in the video also on the channel if you want to, hear all the changes. But she doesn't seem like she's getting a lot of love with the promotion for the Resident Evil 2 remake, and that could be because of their strategy. Maybe they want to show off Leon because, let's be real, he's kind of the poster child of Resident Evil. But Claire's very loved too, and people feel like she's kind of taking a backseat. So what do you guys think about getting the Leon statue and maybe not getting a Claire statue? Like, does that upset you? Give me your guys' thoughts.
Oh, I got this one first.
All right, take it over, AJ.
First of all, I'm kind of sick at the fact that they're pushing Claire back into the background again. Resident Evil 2 is about both of them, not one character. I don't care if Leon's taken over or not, or become this poster child for, all the little children out there. It should have been both of them on the statue. And honestly, if it was both of them on the statue, I would have had no issue getting the collector's edition. But because it's just one of them, I cannot even fathom putting $200 down on it.
What do you think though? If it would have been more, if it would have had both in high quality like they are, but it would have costed more money, would you have still wanted to get it?
As long as it was, actually nicely done and it didn't look like something that came out of a wood chipper, yes.
Yeah. Then you would. Yeah, I mean, like the Leon looks fantastic. The detail on it, I'm surprised because we got some ugly statues before. I think there's some photos going around of
very
Chris's.
ugly one.
Yeah.
Well, let me interject on that right there. We've seen how it looks.
Yeah.
But I'm also scared because if anybody remembers the fiasco for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I believe their collector's edition was $200 if I remember correctly, and they showed you getting 4 statues. You got one of Mega Man X, Iron Man, Captain Marvel, and Chun-Li, and you got the Infinity Stones, and what they showed off to everybody wasn't what it was. The stones looked like little Easter eggs that glow. You couldn't remove them from the box. The statues had derpy faces and bent hands and everything. Oh yeah. Oh, it was a fiasco. So that's why I'm kind of worried. I mean, yeah, we've seen things on how Leon looks. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they'll screw it up again after the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite fiasco, but
yeah,
you never know.
So what do you think about then, Tony, not seeing Claire's statue? Or, because like Resident Evil 7, we had different versions. We had the European version, the Japanese version, the US version, and they were all different, but it looks like we got all the versions and it's all just Leon. Like, would you have liked to see Claire included in all of them? Or would you have liked to see maybe the Japanese version get Claire, or, the European version?
Well, I would have liked a version where everybody at least gets a chance to get a piece of the pie anyway before the scalpers get at it. But,
yeah,
given how Leon has become the poster boy, as we've said, for this series, you also got to remember, too, Claire was big for years. If anything, she was bigger than Leon was up until Resident Evil 4 because, 2 and Code Veronica were, not too far apart from one another. So people were still interested in her. The fact that she was also in the Dreamcast, which means updated graphics and more to do with her. She had more interaction. Her character got developed. So for years she was that. Now they're still treating this. I feel like that Leon's the guy from Resident Evil 4, when in all actuality this is an origin story for the both of them. This game is an equal 50-50 of both characters. So I feel that they should have both gotten a statue in their honor, or at least if they didn't give us a statue of the characters at all, I would have been okay with what they did with Resident Evil 7 and gotten a diorama set of the RPD building, you get the Baker's Mansion. Something like that I would have been cool with.
Yeah.
But honestly, in the end, it really does bum me out that Claire kind of got the shaft so far with this. I mean, sure, she's gotten her own character poster that we've seen where she's on the bike and it shows the original, her license plate is the original release date for the Resident Evil 2 back in the day.
Yeah, very cool.
Which I have on a real poster.
Exactly. But yeah, again, it's a bummer that they went that route, but still. Geez. Enemy Lee just donated $20. Says Ben forever wanting Claire, but I'm a mega skeptical over her being based off of a 15-year-old Instagram model.
That's interesting. Thank you very much for that. Let's give.
Thank you. That's okay.
Let's give Ali's thought first, and then we'll actually come back to what you said, Amy, because that's an interesting topic there. But thank you so much for that super chat. We really appreciate it. What are your thoughts on not getting a Claire statue, or kind of how Claire's taking a back seat, Ali?
Yeah, it makes me kind of mad. I love Claire. She's one of my absolute favorites, and Leon's great and all, but he's been in like everything. So I see where you're coming from on the poster boy. I mean, he's in all the CG movies. It's basically the Leon trilogy. And then you've got 2, you've got 4, you've got 6. It does worry me a bit, because I hope they don't put him forefront in front of Claire. Like you said, I want equal between both of them, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. I think they should have put both of them on the statue for sure, though. That would have been the smart choice. I don't know why they didn't do that. Why the emphasis on Leon for everything?
Yeah, me and Jeff are in agreement there. It should have been both of them. As Tony said, it's 50-50. It's an origin story. It has to depend on both of them.
For as excited as I am because I'm not gonna lie, I've wanted a Leon statue for a while, and I was very close to getting the Vendetta one because of how well detailed it was, and Leon's my favorite character.
Yeah, that looked awesome.
So yeah, when I seen Leon in the RPD outfit, I was like, oh god, yeah, I gotta get that. I fanboyed hard. But now thinking about it, and just thinking about how it's the origin story for both of them, and really, back to the start of the entire franchise, it would have been cool to see them sort of posing back to back, like we got with that fantastic cover art, where they were kind of basing it off the original poster of Leon and Claire from 1998, when they were standing back to back in Raccoon City. So it would have been really cool to see that sort of style. I would have even paid a little bit more to have both of them, but because the Leon one is so well done. As far as Claire taking a back seat, I do feel like she is right now, and I feel like that is because Leon makes sales and he's and everything. But I do agree with what you're saying, Tony, that there was one point in time when Claire was sort of the more popular character because she was in more games before 4 came out and blew up, and now everybody loves Leon. I love Leon since 2, and I love Claire. But I do feel like the way that we continuously get more and more information on the Resident Evil 2 remake every week, and we have, it showed us the reveal and gameplay at E3, and then we got all this extra stuff what was the last one that it was at? Gamescom? Or no, Comic-Con.
Gamescom. Yeah, you're thinking about Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con.
And there was a lot of stuff we got there, so it's like we'll probably get Claire, hopefully a Claire trailer, or maybe Claire gameplay at an upcoming event. Like I feel like they're strategizing this, and right now we might be jumping the gun by getting mad we're not seeing more of her, but we might be getting it. So that's basically that. I'm interested in what you guys want to think about it. So let us know in the comments, right now or after if you're listening to this podcast. What you think about Claire not sort of getting the spotlight. But it is interesting what Amy said about Claire kind of taking the resemblance of a 15-year-old Instagram model, because when the time they were scanning her appearance, she was 15. I really don't mind, because I feel like they've kind of tweaked her to make her look a lot older than her character. And you gotta realize she is really young in Resident Evil 2. I think she was like 19, I want to say. Yeah, 19.
Yeah.
So I think she looks fine. I think the character looks great. And I do think she looks young. It fits. What do you guys think about that?
What was it? I got no problem. I think it's interesting that because like you see sometimes in video games, anime, even in cartoons, the characters are said to be such and such years old. Like it's like, but like what 16, 17-year-old is like looks like this type deal, or because I have a lot of friends from doing cosplay with. I have a friend, she's 38, and she looks like she's really young. And she actually looks like she's in her early 20s sometimes, because she takes care of herself and stuff. So with things like these and everything, you could choose a younger model, but also age them up a little bit. You're just using the base foundation of what they look like from a build and face, and then you can tweak that in the editing program, really.
Yeah.
So like I said, I got no problem with it. I think it's fine.
All right. You guys want to give your opinions, or do you want to move on?
I'm on agreement. I mean, I don't think there's an issue with it. I think
Okay.
that
You
should be
guys like the
modified
model?
enough for the game to give some age to her and everything, but
Honestly,
it's
I think
fine.
it's fine.
I haven't seen
Alright.
enough of her to really.
She looks like a
determine.
younger Code Veronica.
Yeah.
And I'm more concerned about the voice than the appearance.
That's
Same.
true. That is very true. All right, moving
okay,
on
yeah.
now. Okay, so basically Capcom has their financial meetings where they kind of go over their business models and how they plan on making money for their investors. I think they do it a few times a year, and they just recently had one where the question was asked about the Resident Evil 2 remake, like, because this seems to be going over well, and this is kind of your business plan right now, do you plan on doing more remakes? And basically they said yes, like, part of their new business model is they want to bring back some of their old IP, in remake form, remaster form. So this kind of, we did a video on it. It's kind of got the internet excited to see some of Capcom's classic games come back, along with, other Resident Evil games. A big one is Resident Evil 3. If they're redoing Resident Evil 1 and 2, why not 3? Other games like Ominusha, whatever, I can't pronounce it. Dino Crisis. Aminusha. There you go. I see it a lot in the comments. A lot of people want that one. Never played it myself, but I should because everybody says it's so good. Dino Crisis. There's a lot, even Outbreak. They could bring that back. So what do you guys think about Capcom's new strategy? Do you think that maybe they're going to focus too much on remakes and remasters and we're not going to get a lot of new content? Or do you think they're going to have a healthy balance of new content and bring back old awesome content in cool ways like remakes and remasters? What do you guys think?
Honestly, I'm okay with it as long as we never get anything that's like Resident Evil 6 ever again. So if they want to dip back in their back catalog and appease the fans, I'm perfectly okay with it. Give me my Dino Crisis reboot. Get rid of Dino Crisis 3. Give us some closure with Dino Crisis 2 finally. Outbreak. That should have been done years ago. Bring it back. It's time. Give us the campaigns that were cut. I'm trying to think of what else they actually made because.
Oh, they've made a lot, believe me. But I'll wait till my turn.
Well,
Yeah.
Tony,
I feel like
take over.
Tony's gonna have a field day with this one.
Yeah. But before we continue on, Jesse Dool says thanks for just stopping by. Keep up the great work. Donated $9.99. Thank you, Jesse.
Holy
Greatly
shit.
appreciate that, dude.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Jeff, just Ali, the way that you said like $9.99, it just reminds me of like those old QVC commercials, like where they were advertising Beanie Babies and they would scream into the camera like, "Inch the Worm! This is a rare collectible. It just came in. I've got it for $9.99, but you gotta go quick because it's really going fast, folks."
Yes, exactly.
I don't understand why they had to be so loud. Like,
I know, right?
Because they wanted to wake people up. All the old people that were going to buy the stuff.
Yeah,
up, save
that's
them
true.
the
It was on at like 2 in the morning or.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got $2 from Steven Gardner. He says, "Bring back Power Stone."
Get that man a cigar, please.
Bionic Commando.
But yeah, okay, so Ali, why don't you talk about your thoughts on some like remakes and remasters and bringing back some old stuff?
I'm pretty happy about this. We saw like a good 10 years where they were trying to copy the industry, pretty much. Making like you saw the shift. Resident Evil 4 was kind of ground setting for a new style of gameplay that was still coming about, but they set a standard. And 5 kind of felt like other games, and then 6 definitely felt like other games. And then they started doing Operation Raccoon City, Umbrella Corps, all these things where they were trying to capitalize on the industry or what everybody was doing. That's why I'm glad we haven't gotten a Battle Royale one. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yet.
The fact that they're not doing that they're going and doing like nostalgia games and redoing and remastering, remaking, as well as giving us new stuff that fits into what we used to love. 7 maybe have been different because of the first person, but it was a good horror game. It was a good step in the right direction back into survival horror for the series. So I'm excited to see that. And I think they have enough staffing to do like they did. They had a team working on 7 with a smaller team working on 2. When 7 finished, they pushed all those resources to 2 and then finished up 2. So I think it's a good system that they have. And it makes me excited to see, games like Dino Crisis come back. Especially Outbreak would be huge. Get a couple other remakes in there would be nice. But I want to see an Outbreak 3 and a Dino Crisis 3.
Yeah, no. They
A
got
good Dino Crisis 3.
a good Dino Crisis. Yeah, get rid of that last 3.
Yeah,
Pretend that never
proper,
happened.
Dino Crisis 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just go back and make the series and add more, because the games themselves were not that long. Unless you are like me and you spend like 6 hours worth of streaming running around looking for, one thing that you can't find.
Yeah.
That was a horrible, horrible couple days of streaming.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that like you could combine the first 2 games and then give it some more would be nice.
I agree.
But
I agree.
anyways, yeah, you can do more.
Ami Lee, she just put in 350. Says, want EX battle with Ada and Chris. Ooh, that's a good thing. We'll definitely talk about. But that's actually something we'll be talking about later.
Yeah, we got that
Hashtag
coming up.
350.
Thank you for that 350.
And at that time, I noticed it was no Girl Scout. It was the goddamn Loch Ness Monster. It's like, Monster, I ain't got no tree fitty. Why you keep following me, Monster? I ain't got no tree. I gave him the tree fitty. Oh, so you're the reason, woman, why he come back. You gave him the tree fitty.
That was awesome.
Of the show South Park.
That was awesome.
Sorry, I had to do it. That's like one of my favorite things from South Park. And we can all raise a glass. South Park is legally allowed to drink now. It just turned 20.
Holy
21.
shit. That was so good. We're totally getting copyrighted, Tony. Thank you.
Yeah, we are.
Dirty part on there.
Kendo says Tony eats glue, and I was like, not anymore.
He's on
Thank you, Ami, for that donation. Thank you for allowing me to do Chef's father. I love that character so much.
That was great.
So back on track with the remakes. Now, this is where I come in because, I mean, I know that some of the guys have played a lot of the Capcom games, but Capcom is probably my favorite developer of all time for a lot of the games they were able to create back in the day. And Ali had said this, and this is a good thing that I didn't think of. He mentioned nostalgia, and nostalgia is a huge thing now because a lot of old games are coming back now. And with things like the NES and the Super Nintendo Classic, the fact that if you try to collect retro games these days, I mean, does anybody know what a copy of Resident Evil for the Sega Saturn goes for now? It is reaching $150 and higher with the case. Without the case, it's like $50 to $60. But that Mega Man X4 for the Sega Saturn is about $150. So nostalgia is a key for Capcom because they have a lot of games that were just legendary, and like a lot of the chat's been blowing up and saying it too. Power Stone, it's a great 3D arena fighter. It's kind of got a lot of Dragon Ball Z elements and like elements from like other like animes and stuff. They take a lot of things from stuff, but those games are really good. The second one was great because it actually allowed 4-player. You had other games like Rival Schools, which is kind of a forgotten Capcom fighting series, but it's really good. It's got its following. People want it back. You could definitely do something with that. I'm trying to think what's some other good ones. Oh, like I said, you could remake Okami for the newer days because Hideki Kamiya and a lot of old Capcom guys have actually said they wouldn't mind coming back and working on games because now the guard that was there before Capcom that made all these bad decisions for years, they seem to be gone. And a lot, like even Shinji Mikami has said it in the past that he doesn't mind coming back and working on like Resident Evil and stuff. Plus, with games, I mean, Mega Man is coming back in October this year. So, I mean, I would personally love for Breath of Fire 3 to come to the new consoles because Breath of Fire 3 is a great RPG. It's very, in my opinion, underrated in the world of like Final Fantasies and Chrono Triggers and everything. But Capcom does have a lot of games, and they kind of did bring some games back. DuckTales Remastered came out a couple of years ago. Strider got a reboot that was done very, very well. And there's other companies out there. If Capcom can't handle a lot themselves, there's companies like I'm trying to think of the one that made WayForward Studios, WayForward Technologies. They had worked on DuckTales Remastered for Capcom, and that game was just as beautiful as it was back on the NES. And Strider was amazing. There's things like that, and even companies like I've reached out to companies like what was it? The ones that made Shovel Knight, Yacht Club Studios. They've said they would have loved to work on Capcom remakes for like platformers and stuff. Plus, WayForward, they're also known for the Shantae Half Genie series too. So, we're in this time period where retro gaming is in, and a lot of people want to play these older games, and sometimes they don't exist in digital format. That's like within legal purposes to purchase, but there is a need for them. And I think that if Capcom really wants to do it, take some chances with some new IPs, honestly, but thanks to things like Monster Hunter World and one of the Monster Hunter games on the 3DS, they've made a lot of money over the years off those games. So they have the money to take that chance. And it's like Ali said before, nostalgia is the key. You know, like everybody loves these older games now. They're starting to discover them because their kids are playing them, and now gaming's even bigger than it ever has been. So
Yeah.
I say if they want to go through this and, you know, give us Resident Evil 3 or an Outbreak, because now this is now more than ever, even more than like even in like 2012 and 13. Now is the time for online gaming more than ever. And I think if something like Outbreak would fit perfectly in the world of online gaming finally, because it's just a game that was ahead of its time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think this is I really like this news. I honestly, I don't think that they would focus solely on remakes and remasters and they wouldn't put out new games. I feel like their core team would be working on new IPs, and, you know, other subsidiary teams would be working on, you know, some of these remakes and remasters, which, you know, we all win. Also, nostalgia is big now, and money talks. So if the Resident Evil 2 remake sells well, I can almost guarantee there's going to be a Resident Evil 3 remake if they make money with it and it's well reviewed. So yeah, like I said, as long as they keep making new stuff like Resident Evil 8, maybe a Revelations 3, and then they kind of focus on, you know, some of these other games, I would be really happy. Also, seeing a Dino Crisis in the style of the Resident Evil 2 remake, I think would be really interesting. It would kind of swap that whole game up. You know, like I said before, I'm a huge advocate of fixed camera angles. That's the way I want to, you know, see these remakes, like the Resident Evil 1 remake. But it would still be interesting to see Dino Crisis in that sort of form. But yeah, I think overall this is great news. I feel like they're listening to the fans, and like I said, money talks. So we'll see if we're going to be getting a lot of this stuff if it does well. Okay, moving on. Well, I guess we can kind of get into the Famitsu interview that just recently went around the internet, and Tony, you just did a video about that on the channel. Famitsu is a Japanese magazine that actually got an interview. And we learned a lot of stuff about the Resident Evil 2 remake from them. Like a lot of really interesting details, and, you know, they kind of broke a lot of stuff. I guess we'll cover those details now. We'll give sort of the general basis of what this interview is about, and then kind of give our thoughts on it. So starting with no randomized elements. Game will be speedrun friendly, which is very important for a classic Resident Evil 2 game that is getting classic Resident Evil game that's getting remade, because Resident Evil is very known for its replayability, and with that replayability brings speedrunning. People play the game so many times that they can do it a little faster until they are, you know, they're competing, and who can beat it the fastest. And these speedruns are extremely entertaining to watch, and so that's important that, you know, the developers are keeping in mind that this is one reason why these games have lasted, you know, stood the test of time. One reason, you know, there's many reasons, but so yeah, the Resident Evil 2 remake is going to be speedrunner friendly. What do you guys think about that? And real quick,
before anybody answers, Ami Lee just donated another $2 or anything. Well, just $2. It says speedruns for the win.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. And then Roxas Rubin with a $2 super chat. Cover art's different between deluxe and regular. I don't think we're going to get into that right now. There is a little bit of a difference between, I could just cover it. The regular cover art is Leon and Claire back to back, sort of like Resident Evil 2, that photo from Resident Evil 2, that render, and then the deluxe, I believe, is just I think that's just a zombie face. I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah, it's a zombie's face.
Okay.
Like the lower half of it.
That was sort of made to pay homage to the original, like Resident Evil 1, the zombie face, and the Resident Evil 2 zombie peeking around the corner. So I think that's pretty cool. And then No Acceptance with a $10 super chat. Are you guys still working on the Resident Evil game? Oh, yep. We're going to get into that later, too. If you need someone to do promotional cover art for you guys, let me know. I'll ping you on Discord. That sounds cool, man. Get a hold of us there. Thank you so much for that, guys. But yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right. What do you guys think about speedrunning in Resident Evil 2 Remake?
I'm not much of a speedrunner. That's more AJ's area.
Yeah.
No, I don't speedrun.
Well, you do all the special runs.
He does knife only. His specialty is knife
I'm going to
only.
play the game. But there was a thing about it back in the day, you know, beating it in under 2 hours with no saves and all that, or at least one save. Was it no saves or one save?
No save.
One save was for Code Veronica, because if you save when you crash in the Arctic, it doesn't ruin your rank or anything.
But that, it was cool because there was incentive to it, but I'm more about the story experience type, not so much of the challenges behind it. So I'm okay with it. That's good. I just hope that doesn't mean that we get less of a game.
You think we would get less of a game, or do you think we would get, you know, well, How would we get less of a game then? If you could explain real quick.
Well, let me see. Like if you played through, I'm taking 7 because it's the most recent one.
Yeah.
If you played through 7 the first time, exploring, checking things out, really getting into it, I think I beat it in like 7 hours, maybe 8. But a speed run, you could do it, I think, in less than 3.
Yeah.
You could beat it quickly. So
Okay.
that's. But then after I beat it the first time, I was like, there was no real replayability for me. I had no desire to go back and play it again. But I did to see, how fast I could beat it because there was like some thing you could unlock. I don't remember what it was. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, man, that really wasn't much of a game if you speedrun it. It's
See, now,
like,
I agree with you.
worse. Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of what's the difference then between the original Resident Evil games and then say 7 that, because they didn't have, like, if you go back and play them, they don't last very long now.
Oh, well,
No, they were short games. You could
yeah,
knock
well,
out.
even like Resident Evil Remake on the GameCube can be beaten within like an hour or a little over an hour. And 2 and 3 can be done in the same amount. But the thing of it is, it's something that, that there's different difficulties for you to play on in the older games, kind of like in 7. But there's also things like arranged mode in one of the original Resident Evil games. I think it was like Director's Cut that gave you that. And 2 had an arranged mode. Plus you play as like Leon and Claire. There's one for, Chris and Jill in the first one as well. And Jill just has Jill. There's only normal, easy and hard.
Yeah.
So, if you don't add, difficulty like settings and, different placements. Yeah, it can be beaten pretty easily. But at the same time, that's like when you like master something too. So it's like if you master a game and stuff, of course it's gonna seem quick and easy, honestly. So like if you're not a speed runner, because I don't consider myself a speed runner, but the one that I speed run the most is Resident Evil 3, and I could beat that game within about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like it seems like a short game. But I don't think we'll be dealing with that this time around. I think because of everything that they're going to be adding and what they've shown, I think we're going to be okay for the most part. I don't think we have to worry about getting shortchanged.
So what you were saying basically, Ali, is you don't want them to make it shorter for the sake of speedrunning. You still want a long game. You don't want it to be watered down because of that.
And looking like at the old original, which they weren't long games, you could beat them relatively quickly. But that was how everything was back then. There wasn't really too long unless you're playing an RPG.
Yeah.
But the thing that has to be perfect in this, it has to, like, the story and the atmosphere is what will have me coming back multiple times, not to speedrun it.
Yeah, true. I agree. Yeah.
So if it helps, it helps.
Yeah.
I'm complete with Ollie when it comes to that. I don't really care about speedrunning. I like to take my time, take the atmosphere in, take the lore in, get all the files, get everything I can out of the game. I don't really care about the speedrunning. Like knives, that's fun. I'm all for that.
Yeah. But you're not about the fastest times and the shortest.
No, honestly, it really bores me when I do that.
Yeah, I mean, I completely get it. Like, I get why people do it, and I get why people get competitive, and it introduces an element into the game that they never really planned for, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. And I think that it's great that they're, paying attention to the community, and they want to keep this, this thing sort of included in the remake. I also don't speedrun. I do enjoy watching speedruns, but I can't remember. I have the worst memories, so, like, I could never be a speedrunner, but I think, it just goes to show how they care about the fans, and they're paying attention to what people want, and they're not trying to step on anybody's toes to, sort of do what their vision is and not consider, the audience, the fans.
It does make it interesting. It could be that they're watching, like I said, they're paying attention to the industry and what people want. And if you go to Twitch or you go to YouTube streams, after you've played the game a few times, it's been out for a while, you start seeing speed runs, you see knife runs, you see all these different things to break up the regular monotony of playing the game for the 5th or 6th time. So they're probably looking like that too. It's like, how can we extend the life of this game? A couple months of playing the games, I mean, you can only beat it so many times, but if we add in the fact that you can speed run it or you can do the different styles of play like people like to do, it just extends the shelf life of everything.
Exactly. And actually, for one thing that I discovered when researching stuff, and I think it was JJ who sent me this. For the speedrunning in this, the reason why speedrunning is going to be different in this game than in other games is because the combat knife you're given can break.
Have fun with that, AJ, and your knife runs.
That's going to be interesting,
Yeah, so it's like a lot of I think a lot of people's work. It could end up being like those defense daggers from the original remake on GameCube. You'll be lucky and find them, but at least other than like a one-time use, or if you well play shotgun blast to the head and you get the knife out of their skull and stuff. There's that. But yeah, like with the breaking and stuff like that, I think that will add to it. Plus, like the different difficulty modes, like hard mode and stuff, that'll really give people a run for their money.
Yeah, but no randomized elements. So when you go back through, you're gonna be getting the same sort of, which I don't think is really a big deal. I think the randomized elements.
We didn't even really have that back with Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, I don't.
So,
Well, like other than a range mode and everything, yeah, that's like it.
That I would like them to add in. I know they're saying no randomized elements, but it would be cool to have a randomizer in there for replay.
Oh yeah, like a
I
replay
say
mode.
take it a step further. Give us a nightmare mode.
Oh Jesus!
Change up when the enemies show up. If you're expecting a licker to be in this hallway and then it's not, it's somewhere else, or a different type of enemy shows up there that's worse, or maybe
Now you guys are making me think the other way. That would be cool to have some randomized elements in the game.
Aha! We've changed his mind.
We're good for that.
One of us.
One of us. One of us.
I thought I already was. Okay. But yeah, randomized. Like I said, it's cool that they're including the speedrunning elements. Randomized would be cool, but it doesn't break the flow of the game. So great. Moving on.
I will take this one. K-92 donated $5 and they said, do you guys think the scrap content from 1.5 will make it into the remake? Yes, absolutely. I think some aspects from 1.5 are already slowly trickling their way into it.
We've seen some concept sketches between 1.5 and 2, the early on concept sketches making their way into characters. Yeah, and Elza coming in the deluxe edition. Yeah, we're definitely going to get some, and I think that's awesome.
Again, Capcom is paying attention.
Yes, they are. They're aware. That's cool.
Pretty awesome.
Thank you so much, K-Dash. Next part of this Famitsu article says that the Resident Evil 2 will be at TGS. The game is mostly finished, but just being polished now. Not a whole lot to talk about here, other than really cool. I can't wait to see what they have to show.
Yeah. We expected that. Obviously, Tokyo Game Show, we knew that it was going to be there.
Yeah, yeah. And I have people asking, like, what do you think that the game's mostly finished? I think, well, I mean, it's great, but we already know the release date, so that's nothing. It's mostly finished. Isn't really anything too exciting. I'm glad that.
Honestly, done. I think the last expo for the year is going to be PlayStation.
Yep.
Yeah. PlayStation conference in December. I wouldn't be too shocked if we actually hear about a demo around then.
I think we might even get something around the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah,
the TGS.
I'm thinking so too.
It's not console specific, although they lean on the Sony side because of the partnership they've always had. Mm-hmm. But it's being that it's not console specific, I don't think we'll see a lot at PlayStation, if even that, because PlayStation conference is usually about, hey, this is our stuff.
Well, the main reason I say that is because that's going to be the last.
It's close to release time.
Yep, it's going to be the last one before release.
Yeah,
but even with 7 because it's so recent, they put out the demo at E3. So I'm hoping we see something out of Tokyo Game Show, either a different demo that we can all break down and look at, or give us a chance to play it. Hopefully a chance to play it. Put it out.
I agree. We want to play it. God damn it! That's what the number one comment is. When is the demo coming out? Give us the I don't want to demand it, but I think if it's finished, it's a cool a demo that so many people played and it's going really well. Yeah, why not? Why not make it download? I'd love to get my hands on it. I would just be playing that constantly, just all the little details and stuff I could pick up. But moving on to, in my opinion, the most interesting part of this Famitsu interview. The Resident Evil 2 remake includes something to ensure better replay value than Resident Evil 7 on top of Fourth Survivor and Tofu Survivor. It's worded a little weird, but what they're saying is they're adding a new mode, basically, that will add replay value, kind of on par with Fourth Survivor and Tofu Survivor, but Tofu Survivor and Fourth Survivor will be included in the game. This is going to be an extra mode. They didn't say anything about Extreme Battle Mode, so I don't know. There's so many different things this could be. This could be Extreme Battle Mode. This could be a Mercenaries mode.
Mercenaries!
This could be so many different things. And we've discussed before in chat a really interesting idea that I think we could talk about right now, too, that it could be. But first off, I want to know what you guys think about this new mode. Do you think it's great they're including the original modes and more? Or do you think it's Extreme Battle?
I like
Kendo.
Extreme Battle.
Yeah. I like Kendo's message there in the chat. I saw the minigame is cut Leon's hair.
Oh, nice.
Meanwhile, Leon's ducking and dodging and weaving and bobbing all that stuff to avoid you.
Squirrely. He'd cry.
It's a VR game. First-person VR game.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Oh God, somebody said Extreme Battle Royal Edition. I'm telling you.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
think it's gonna be, Ali? What do you think we're gonna get here? Extreme battle mode, something else? What would you like to see?
I think Extreme Battle. Well, it could be either or. If they're playing the tradition part, nostalgia, all that good stuff, remake, it would probably be Extreme Battle mode. But I think it would be something co-op would be smart, like
Yeah, I agree.
Mercenaries. That would be very smart for them. And maybe it's Umbrella Corps too.
Oh God, including the Resident Evil 2 remake. Oh, you just
The bonus mode nobody asked for.
you just soiled this podcast.
Burn it. Burn it down.
Burn to the
Oh,
ground.
God.
We're getting there, Ace.
Yeah.
What do you think, AJ, about this? What do you want to see?
I just want Extreme Battle Mode, but like Ollie was saying, I would like to see them do an optional 2 to 4 players for, the mode. Or if it's Mercenaries, I don't really care. Just give us something that's similar to Extreme Battle Mode, but with more unlockable characters, more unlockable stages, as I said about a year ago.
Yeah, well, like, I agree with you guys. Like, we all wanted to keep the game single-player experience, but with these bonus modes, you have the freedom to do some couch co-op or, some online, and I think that would be fantastic to include a multiplayer mode in this. What do you think, Tony? What would you like to see?
First off, Ace Boggs Gaming donated $2 and says, "This is fun."
Clutch and
All
fun,
right.
man. Thank you.
Alrighty
I've
then.
been better.
Thank you for that. Great. Appreciate that. This person obviously hasn't been here that long. This isn't fun. This is hell. No,
How much,
No,
how much
so
longer do we got to do
actually-
this?
well, so now, in all seriousness, though, now that you're talking about Umbrella Corps, I think that could work again. No, just kidding.
Oh, God.
No, Extreme Battle Mode would be a good thing because that was a really fun mode that a lot of people kind of tend to not remember as much compared to other modes that have come in video games from other Resident Evil games. But I personally would love to see something like Raid Mode or
Ooh.
Mercenaries mode return. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, how would you do Mercenaries? Because Mercenaries is pretty different. And it's like, it is true. I
Yeah.
mean, the only way I could see Mercenaries working is if they actually included, like, the bad
Resident
guys,
Evil 3.
like, like the Bella sisters from Resident Evil 4 or, like, the Executioners from 5. Because Resident Evil The Mercenaries 3D for the 3DS actually did that. It combined, like, all the bad guys from, like, all the, like, Resident Evil, like, 4 and 5, and I think some of 6, or no, I don't think 6 was out at that point. But you get what I'm saying. Like, there could be ways for them to go around. I mean, hell, there were liquors in Resident Evil 5's Mercenaries. I think that, something like that would add to the replay value because, I mean, a lot of us still play Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries mode and 4 to this day. And the 10th anniversary of 5 is coming up next year. So I think it's possible. And a lot of people said in the video that I made that you put up today, a lot of people were upset saying that they didn't want to see a Mercenaries mode in it because, from 4, 5, and 6 where it was a terrible idea to put those things in. But people got to realize that Resident Evil 3 had the original Mercenaries in many ways. And if you want to get technical, 2
it's
kind
been
of
around.
started it.
Yeah, with Extreme Battle Mode. Yeah, definitely. So it's...
Yeah. So, I mean, it's anybody's guess on what's happening. All I know is I'm happy we're getting a mode. I just really hope that, being secretive about it is really worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I want to be
What if
surprised.
it's the Brad Vickers game mode where you just play as Brad as a zombie for 2 hours?
Oh, my God. That
Yes!
sounds
Stuck, and you
amazing.
can't climb the stairs.
And you gotta... Yeah.
$10
really good.
for that DLC.
Honestly, I think that it's fantastic that they're including Tofu Survivor and the Forest Survivor, and that they're doing an additional mode. I do think, there's a good chance that it's going to be Extreme Battle, and I think that would be fantastic, but I would like to be surprised and get something new. Now, we've discussed this
Same.
in the past, but, an interesting idea. The Resident Evil 2 remake introduces a new fortifying system, something not seen in the Resident Evil series. And basically what that is you find materials laying around the RPD and you use those materials to board up the windows so zombies can't get through. So, we were talking about this and we were thinking that how cool would it be if you, say, got to play, in the RPD with your friends, so multiplayer, sort of during the time when the outbreak was happening. And then it's up to you guys to try to band together and stay alive and keep the zombie hordes out. Because right now this is prime time, crunch time, when these zombies are all coming through the windows. And so it's sort of like a survival horde mode.
Horde mode, yeah.
Utilizing this fortifying system and boarding up the windows and making sure that everybody's kind of, one person's getting ammo, the other person's keeping the windows boarded up on the west side, while the other guys, boarding up the windows on the east side. I think that would be a fantastic new mode, and it would really utilize that new system, that fortifying system, very, very well. And it wouldn't affect this single player game. It's a cool mode they put in. It's not super focused on that, but it's a cool mode. But then this bonus horde mode, would completely utilize that system, and you and a team of RPD officers would have to try to survive. What do you guys think about that?
That'd be awesome.
Before we go into that, somebody distant actually said I could actually seek a mode with Jill in it as a way for Capcom to market / hint at a potential RE3 remake.
Mercenaries.
Yeah, she'll be in it. Her character model from Resident Evil 3.
Yeah. As well as the Mercenaries.
Yeah,
exactly. And before that, Ace Boggs Gaming donated another $2 saying, any ideas on how long the game will be? I'm sure with what we've seen so far, this game is going to have length to it.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a lot longer. They added a lot more. And then K-Dash with the $2 super chat says, I agree with JJ. That's what I'm hoping for. Cool. Thank you, Ace Boggs and K-Dash. What do you guys think about, if we got a fortifying mode?
That would be cool.
Yeah, I loved Horde mode in Halo Reach and everything. That was a blast. Me and my friends still play that. So if that's something that they end up doing, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
As long as it's optional, I don't care.
Hey, what was the name of that old Nintendo game that had rollerblading and hacky sack and stuff? It was like some Olympic style type game.
Oh, was that Fusion Frenzy?
No, that was on Xbox.
This is Nintendo, original Nintendo.
Oh, Nintendo.
Days.
I wasn't okay.
Or Sega or Nintendo.
1 second, guys. Mr. Godchild 15 donated $5. He said, "Do you think Capcom will bring Steve, Burnside, Carlos, Billy, and/or Art Thompson back in future RE games?"
Side characters and mercenaries mode, hopefully. Or something.
Cool.
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe.
definitely.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna see Steve again, but
No.
unless we get a prequel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want a extra mode where you can sit there and play hacky sack with Leon and Marvin in the quad.
So you come up with the best modes. You have a Brad Vickers mode that lets you wander around as a zombie,
Yeah.
and now you got to play hacky slack with Leon or cut Leon's hair in VR.
Yeah.
Well, he
His
tries to
ideas
dodge
fit,
and throw punches.
Fit really well for what happened in Resident Evil 7 with their Ethan Must Die modes and all that stuff.
Yeah, they
so.
had some
the
interesting
blackjack
ones.
mode.
Yeah.
It's so weird but interesting. I think they could have did better ones, but yeah, interesting.
An 8-bit version of old Excite Bike, but with Claire.
Yep.
On her
Oh
motorcycle.
my God.
Oh god, yeah.
Anyways, Capcom, just send me the email, man. I got you.
Yeah, so yeah, listen to Ollie. He's got the best ideas, but with the fortifying mode or any with how they're doing some interesting things, I'm very excited to see what they're gonna have. And like I said, I do hope we get an extreme battle mode, but I also want to be surprised what this mode is. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
There's more included here now in the article. Move on to the next one. They didn't want to go exactly for realism like Resident Evil 7 in Resident Evil 2, but do a sort of stylized Hollywood look for the game, a stylized reality. So it's not grounded in reality. It's gonna be a little more Hollywood-like. I mean, real quick, I can just give my ideas, and then I think realism's great, but at the same time, the game was always over the. I don't want to say over the top because there were some Resident Evil games that were extremely over the top, but the classic ones they kind of had reality, but it was sort of it had its own feel to it. It was very vibrant. They had a very good atmosphere, but nothing was too realistic. I mean, I remember the fixed angles, the backgrounds looked lifelike back when I was a kid seeing it for the first time. But the enemies were over the top, giant spiders, giant plant, all sorts of
Giant
different
alligators.
yeah. So it's cool, go realistic, a realistic style, but have it its own style. It doesn't have to be real. This has to make sense in the real world. It doesn't. Just don't go over the top 4, 5, and 6 with some of the enemies.
Yeah.
That's what I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah,
Good?
yeah,
Good?
I agree. I agree. It's same thing. Just don't keep it simple, but make it its own thing. Don't keep it with the Hollywood stylized look. Although Part 7 did feel really every time Jack Baker was on screen and everything like that, that's where things got over the top for me. But I think RE2 and the guys developing it, I think they know what it is. I think they know the tones. I think they know the themes. I know they've been worried about stuff like that, but in the end, I think it's I think what they've already shown off so far is what we have to look forward to. We don't have much. Personally, I have nothing to worry about. So
Yeah.
I think they're doing good for what they are. So
From what I see, it
any
was
little
fantastic.
ideas that they have, I'd just be like, hey, go with it. You guys have been on a roll so far.
Yeah. kind of a little more open to see what they have now that I've seen so far what they've done. I couldn't trust them. So it's going to be interesting. We'll have to see, but I think we can get a good look at what it's going to look like from the trailer and the gameplay. It looks, really good. The next thing on this Famitsu article is puzzles will be more realistic while respecting original Resident Evil 2. I think that's super important because of how puzzles and Resident Evil go hand in hand, and puzzles are a huge aspect to the original games, and they're still in the Resident Evil games. If they were to remove puzzles or take puzzles out, that would be bad, like really bad. So I feel like that's very important that they're keeping that in, and that they're adding them a little more realistic of a take on it. Because sometimes when you do puzzles, and it doesn't always make sense. But it's interesting and it's fun and it works with the game. But with like you said, Tony, with the Resident Evil remake, they kind of changed things up, and it was cool because it was like it was new to classic players and new to new players. So it was like everybody got to win, and they didn't like break the puzzles from Resident Evil 1. It was just sort of a new challenge. What do you guys think that they're going to be adding more realistic puzzles while respecting the original Resident Evil 2?
7 didn't really have any puzzles. It did, but they were kind of the same thing over and over. Move this thing around the light to create a shadow.
True.
I don't remember there being any puzzles in like 6 or 5 really.
Yeah.
5 had like a few. It had that stupid light puzzle where like if you cross the beam and stuff, you get like lit on fire and stuff. They had to reflect off the panels and stuff. Yeah,
there wasn't much. There was like barely any. So it's good to see they're gonna bring them back with more of an emphasis, but keeping them realistic. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. I like the idea that they know what they're doing with that, though. Let's just see what they do. And how are they going to redo some of the iconic puzzles from 2?
I honestly don't understand even what they even mean by this, because none of the Resident Evil 2 puzzles were even realistic to begin with. It was all off the wall. So what are they talking about?
They are saying they're making them more realistic, but they're respecting the original. So we'll probably have puzzles in the same areas.
Can you respect the original if you are trying to make them realistic? The problem with games right now is these games try to be too realistic, and they are freaking boring. So no, I'm not okay with that.
Well, I agree with you, but then I think like when you make them like Resident Evil 6, where they were just super over the top, not realistic at all, then it gets too much.
Resident Evil 6 didn't even have real puzzles. They would just go collect this and put this in here.
I think they have to have a great balance like they did with the Resident Evil 1 remake. Like that's basically the best way to do it. And I think that's kind of what they mean in this article. I think we're going to be seeing new variations on the puzzles we already know. And they're going to keep those puzzles in there. That's respecting it, but they're going to make it more realistic so they make a little more sense. Like
honestly, I just don't think the article title itself makes any sense, because it doesn't. You can't pay homage to something that's not realistic to begin with, and you can't make something more realistic and still pay homage to it.
Well, I mean, Resident Evil 1 remake, that was really goofy and campy and cartoony, sort of, the color palette and the goofy dialogue, and then they made that much more realistic and dark.
But yes, they didn't come out trying to say that the puzzles were unrealistic and trying to change them to realistic. They just changed them graphically.
Yeah, it kind of just it actually made more sense in 1, the puzzles being a little bit different, because you're in a mansion and like there's like hidden things and stuff. So, that's why. I mean, personally for me, I can respect them saying, it's like, we respect it. But it's like AJ says, it's like, well, how can you respect something that's over the top? Now, I think there might be more simplistic puzzles where it's more gathering and saving and inputting stuff in computers later on. Like maybe you have to like find things through smaller puzzles or something. I don't know. But it's kind of like what Remake did. Remake took a lot of the old ones, changed them up a little bit, but made them a bit more practical in some ways. Or if anything, a little bit, they improved on them. Because the wind crest, the sun crest, all those crests that you had to do to unlock the yard, you don't get those in the same fashion. In fact, those are kind of replaced by the death masks.
I have to add this in here quick because it's making me lose it. Shay said more realistic. There's a puzzle where you put 3 jewels in a statue and you can get to a parking lot. Realistic?
Very true.
Because why not? Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a touchy subject, but I think because they've become so iconic, they don't want to get rid of them. I think maybe that's what they were going for. Like, they won't replace the old ones, or at least most of them. They'll keep some of, like, the iconic ones. Like, during Leon's thing, his thing is to find the chess pieces that are the plugs to the door. Or Claire, it finds the puzzle pieces for where Chief Irons keeps his like hidden sex dungeon and shit like that, like things like that. Well, that's what I used to think it was, pretty much.
Yeah, it did look like a sex dungeon. Yeah, you're right. That's totally what it was.
How would you know, JJ?
Jude. We got so Lakuta Soldier 84 donates $2 and says Ariel and I are getting married on the RE2 release date. You better have an RE2 wedding cake, my friend.
Holy shit! Congratulations, man. Thank you.
Awesome.
They got engaged during a live stream when I was having a very difficult time with Mr. X. I remember I was so mad, and then they're like, "Can you ask Ariel on the stream?" And I was like, "Okay." And then I did, and they're like, "He's like, she said yes." And then everybody's like, "Yay! This was like so infuriating and like celebratory at the same time." So congrats, man. All right. Well, yeah, that basically wraps up this Famitsu article here. Yeah, it was interesting stuff. Like I said, they keep having more and more stuff come out. So we're going to be seeing more stuff soon, I would assume. But yeah, right now we can take any of your guys' questions. If you have any questions for us, we'll get to a few of them. Since we are doing this live, I just want to say thank you very much to everybody who's here. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this podcast. If you are, please leave a like. That lets us know you guys like seeing these podcasts live, and we'll continue to do more. And if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe. But yeah, since we're live, we figured we can get some live questions in. So does anybody, AJ, you want to just keep an eye on the chat and see if anybody has any questions?
Well, I already did gather a couple of them.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool. Let's go right over them then.
All right, so let's see. The average gamer. What would you guys say if Claire's side of the story ends up being shorter than Leon's story in the remake?
Ooh, that would be upsetting. I would actually be really disappointed. I honestly don't think they will. I think they're going to be well balanced around the same length since these events are taking place hand in hand. But yeah, I think I would be upset, but I think we'll be okay.
Just to add my thoughts quick, if they do that, you guys will no longer see Chill AJ. You will get Raging AJ back.
Yeah. Yeah, that would just go back to pushing Leon to the background. We don't want to see that. What do you think, Ali and Tony?
That would definitely piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
I would just be overcome by all this unyielding rage.
The whole ROE team would just be raging, smashing keyboards. Yeah, so
$900 keyboard.
Question.
Oh god, yeah, get that premium edition, baby.
They're saying this in general, but I think this is more of a question for Tony. Dark Soul, what do you guys think of Devil May Cry 5?
Ali, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I love Devil May Cry, and I can't wait. I'm so happy that they're back. I'm so happy that Ruben's back and Johnny's back, and I believe Dan is back as well. I haven't talked to him, but I'm thinking he's back. They haven't officially announced that. But I'm excited to see what happens. And I love these characters. They're important in my gaming history, and I want to see what happens next.
First I got to say, Kendo Gunshop says, Tony rages like George Costanza. Aha! We're getting screwed here! They're giving us DLC up the ass again, Jerry! Aha! When I saw that trailer live, I needed new pants. For the longest time, I wasn't really sure. Like, people saying, "Oh, Devil May Cry 5 is gonna be a thing. Don't worry about it." But when I finally saw it and I saw what it looked like, we saw Dante writing in as like old man Dante and everything. He's like that Steve Buscemi meme where it's like, "How are you, young fellow
kids?"
doing?"
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's just, it really made me excited because I love the Devil May Cry series. The story's been kind of all over the place. They say this one takes place after 4 and it's before 2, but given how Dante looks in this, I kind of feel that this might be after 2 because he's riding a motorcycle, and we all saw he rode a motorcycle into the underworld. And from what we've seen from official stuff, Nero's been dealing with the Devil May Cry business. So
yeah,
I'm really excited to see where they go. I really hope, though, that Dante gets his own full campaign and doesn't shadow Nero's again. Now, Nero, he's like Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2. He took over an important role from a very important character, was not well received at first, but after many years, like a fine wine, it became like, it aged well, or it became an acquired taste. People really love Raiden from Metal Gear now, and they really love Nero now. So, and the fact that, his arm gets ripped off, he's sporting a badass new haircut and everything, and He's literally riding his fucking arm while it's on fire, like his uncle did in Devil May Cry 3 when he was riding, when he was riding the fucking missiles and shit. So I'm very excited for it. I think that this is yet another step in Capcom's right direction for taking back what was theirs and learning from mistakes. So far, from what I've seen, I'm not worried about it. I'm really happy for it.
Yeah, we're sort of seeing that new business model already. We got DMC5 and we got the Resident Evil 2 remake. So this is interesting.
We got Mega Man. We got Mega Man. I think it's Mega Man 13 or something like that. No, Mega Man 11 or 12. I think.
Finally, everybody's wanted that forever.
Oh god, yeah, it's been like 8 years since the cancellation of like 4 of the Mega Man games and stuff. So this is a big thing. It's a budget title, I know that much. So it's only gonna be like $40, but the game still looks pretty good. Yeah. So we're Capcom's on the right track of winning back its fans, which was something that I wasn't sure could happen.
Yeah. All right, I got the next question here from Distant Memories 1996, the official librarian of the Residents of Evil. What's up, Distant Memories? He asks, ROE Team, what would you think about a mode for Resident Evil 2 about Rebecca Chambers, since they never told us when she left Raccoon? Thoughts? That's a good question. You guys take it first.
They should add something in there. Maybe not Resident Evil 2, but I want to see a game come along that shows us these characters that we haven't seen in so long. Rebecca has been absent forever, and they finally brought her back. And we had talked to Aaron about that last year, that she would love to voice her in a video game. I think they should bring those characters that we haven't seen, like Billy and that kind of stuff, over, and maybe make a style of game like Outbreak where you get to play with these characters or something, or at least have their own, something. Revelations 3, I don't know.
I'm with Ollie on that.
I think they did give us sort of her story in Resident Evil Calvin Cove, the S.D. Perry novel, which I thought was very interesting. I don't remember. I gotta read that again.
That's a very interesting one. But I remember the book itself was all right, because if anybody who hasn't read that book, the summary of it is there's a new virus being developed at a cove. I believe it was in Maine, underneath a lighthouse, which was an umbrella lab. And being that Rebecca, survived the mansion, the guy's name is David Trapp. He's the captain of the STARS Exeter branch or something like that up in Maine. He comes to Barry Burton's house, I think it's like a couple months after the thing, and recruits her. And during this, Barry's house comes under attack by other STARS members that are on Umbrella's payroll, and they're all shooting, firing back. That scene was really awesome. It was Chris, Jill... Barry, Rebecca, David, they were all firing and shit. They ran through a park that was near Barry's house, and they ended up at Brad Vickers' apartment. So
it was really interesting cool. And way out there.
So if they did maybe like a game with Rebecca and maybe some the STARS members, it was Steve, Karen, David, and there was another guy that was in there too. I can't remember his name. But yeah, if they did something like that, like Cowboy Cove and shit like that, I would definitely be interested in a game like that with Rebecca. I think she deserves another chance.
Yeah, so maybe you wouldn't want to see her in Resident Evil 2 remake as a bonus mode, but you'd want to see her own sort of side game.
Well,
or maybe.
Well, I think maybe if they did something like what Resident Evil 3 did with the epilogues that you can unlock in the end.
Oh yeah.
Because she never got one. Everybody else did, but she didn't get one at all. So. I say go for it if that's the case. Give us some epilogues of her at least. Give us something to show us how she got to where she is in Vendetta. Really,
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe not a game. Well, I think my idea for the game would be pretty cool too. But either way, just something like that. I think bring back that would be a good idea for characters like her, and maybe if they make Resident Evil 3 in the future. You get to play Carlos' side of what he's doing before he meets up with Jill and what he does after meeting up with Jill.
That would be cool. That's also in the S.D. Perry novels.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like that a lot. AJ, you got another question for us?
Yes, I got plenty.
Okay, hit us with one more.
Let's see. Dan G says, do you guys really believe that Capcom ditched fixed camera angles? I feel like they've been talking about extra cameras a lot in the interviews. It seems kind of odd to me to focus on something so much that isn't in.
So that's a really good question. And real quick, I want to give some backstory on that. Capcom did say in an interview that originally they had fixed camera angles. They had first-person view. And they felt like for what the game they were trying to make, over the shoulder, sort of a more cinematic style, felt the best. So at one point it did have fixed angles, and you can actually see in some of the trailers that they shown off, there was definitely some images or some video that looks like it's from a fixed perspective. And this was, the biggest sort of argument between Resident Evil fans is, do we want the old classic fixed angles back like the Resident Evil 1 remake? Or do we want the new, more modern style like Resident Evil 4? And, we ended up getting that more modern style. And opinions aside, what do you guys think that they won't try to add in a bonus mode later? There's a lot that goes into it with balancing. Like, what do you guys think about that?
I don't think it's going to be a bonus mode. I think eventually, with how they're milking the nostalgia right now, they are going to make it full paid DLC down the line.
But you do think we're going to get it?
I think we're going to get it, but it's going to be paid DLC.
That wouldn't be smart. They've been making a lot of good choices. Not all of them.
Capcom?
Yeah, they've been making a lot of good decisions, but not all of them, but most of them. I don't know.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about DLC. If anybody remembers in the chat what Capcom had done with Street Fighter Cross Tekken years ago, where they charged you $60 for the game, and the other, I believe, 20 characters were already finished and on the disc, but it took them months to unlock it for us, so people hacked it themselves. They were going to charge you, I think it was $10 so an extra $20 for the two sets of characters. But if they do where it comes out like Grand Theft Auto 5 has done for the last 5 years, free DLC, or even a best example, which a lot of people don't give credit for, there's a lot of free DLC from the Monster Hunter series, whether it was on the Wii U version, the PS4 version now, the 3DS games. They did get some DLC, and it was free. So if they give us the static camera angles in the future, say if it's 3-4 months from now, and they charge us $10-$20, then I'm okay with that, because it wasn't ready, and we've waited a while. People are still interested in the game, and that'll give people even more incentive to come back and play.
Yeah, I mean that could happen. I do hope that we see it. But yeah, like I said, there's gonna be a lot of issues with balancing the game properly, so that enemies aren't too difficult from a perspective that kind of makes things like that more difficult. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities, and I think if the demand's there, they'll definitely consider it. So
yeah. So this is the thing. We got a thing here.
We got a thing. Thing is happening. What was that? What is
little
the thing?
Little pig.
Oh, that's
Let
okay.
Me in. Rick is knocking with a $5 super chat and asks, "How do you feel about Claire not getting her original outfit? Feels like that's why Capcom isn't showing her as much, because she looks more altered than Leon." I'll take the reins on this first part too.
You got it.
I'm not mad, because the styles that we got from the characters, even in Resident Evil 1 and 2, those were styles that were straight out of the 90s type deal, And this game might take place in the 90s still, but they might just update it for more modern looks. And Claire looks like a biker now more than ever. As much as we love the old outfit, that could be DLC or an unlockable in the future. What she has now, I think she fits the motif. They did change up the emblem on her back a little bit, but it's still the Made in Heaven logo with a few altercations. So I'm cool with it, and I think, especially for all my friends who cosplay, this is going to be a much easier outfit to do than some of the other ones she had in the past.
I think it looks great. I do really like the original, though. There's part of me that prefers that, but I really like it. But I think it's going to be an unlockable, honestly. I would, it's so... If they're going to add in Elza for the, deluxe edition, I don't see why they wouldn't add an original outfit for Claire.
Well,
I would say they would do that for Leon too, but his outfit's so close to sort of the original, they wouldn't really need to.
Yeah.
People don't really realize that there are going to be unlockables outside of the stuff. You don't want everything announced, or the game is going to feel...
Yeah.
It ain't going to have that accomplishment feeling when you actually get the unlockables.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So, honestly, I'm okay with the new outfit. I think she looks great. Like I said, she looks like a younger version of Code Veronica Claire. She looks like she's 19 finally.
Yeah.
The outfit, just modernization, it looks good. They kept her original colors. I like her necklace design. I like that they kept the, Made in Heaven logo with a little alterations here and there, but she looks fine.
True. Yeah. I agree. Ali, you got anything you want to say on that?
Yeah, she looks, even like Leon's, they look more realistic. Like
Yeah.
if you look back at Leon's in 2, you're like, why is he the only person wearing that? But now, like looking at it now, it actually makes sense. Like, okay, this could be a regular service uniform for, I wouldn't say rookies, but just, everyday type stuff. And then with her, she's actually wearing pants. She's wearing, her boots. She's got her leather jacket. She looks like she rode it in a motorcycle. Or I love her, original outfit in 2. It's iconic to me, but it was very unpractical to ride a motorcycle with those short shorts and everything. I think your legs would get eaten up, man. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm curious to see what other changes the characters have gone through, not just Claire and Leon, but Ada's dress or her style. What's it going to be? They had that noir type look to her with her trench coat covering up her, I'm assuming, red dress.
Ironically, Ollie,
Sherry's
takes us
outfit.
into our next question too.
Yeah.
So you want to take that, Ollie? Do you see it?
Where was it at?
Tenchi came in with a $5 super chat.
You think Ada should get a side story explaining how she escaped? Yeah, I do. I want to see that as one of the DLCs. I'm kind of thinking they will. I think Ada will have one. They might give some fan service to like Kendo or something, which would be cool. Just a quick little thing. But I do believe we'll see an Ada DLC at some point.
Yeah. Nah, that'd be really cool.
I want to separate ways.
Yeah. I mean, that just adds a lot of replay ability to it. Like I said, I always liked Ada being sort of a mysterious character, not knowing exactly what she's doing, but I guess it would be a really fun side mode. So I wouldn't mind having it. And it just, like I said, replayability.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, so that's going to be it for the viewers' questions. Thank you guys all so much for asking and participating in the chat. We really appreciate it. Just definitely keep chatting. We're going to move on now to our next segment. Is basically going to be sort of an update on the ROE channel. What do we got going on? What are we working on? What's going on behind the scenes? Because honestly, you guys see the videos and live streams, but there's a lot we're kind of doing, besides that stuff. So now is going to be our time to sort of let you guys know what's going on, what to expect, and if you guys have any questions on anything, you can ask, and it will try to answer them. But all right, Tony, do you want to start with what's going on with the Residents of Evil? What we're going to be doing?
Nah.
All right, well then moving on to this segment. This segment's boring anyways.
So should we start with my thing?
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about your thing.
event. That's going to be
Okay.
big.
All right. So if anybody's been following me on Twitter, you know that aside from doing photography full-time or as best I can, I take care of my father full-time. He was crippled in an accident a couple of years ago when a woman on her phone blew through the red light and hit his cab that he was driving. He hasn't been able to work since, and he's completely dependent on me. And unfortunately, due to the law being like it is, the statute of limitations on the case ran out due to negligence of the lawyer. The lawyer that we had, unfortunately, he screwed up. He wouldn't pay up. He hid his assets. We couldn't take anything from him. My father and I have racked up a lot in bills, and we've kind of lost everything. I've already had to sell one of my cameras before. My car just recently blew up, so that's always fun because all the bad things come in 3, I guess. My father's been hospitalized because of the negligence from doctors and hospitals. So what should have been something he should have recovered easily from, now he's in the hospital until October. They had to take out his knee. There was an infection, and I would like to have him to come a home to come home to. I'd like to get us out of this ditch. This is a guy who was in Vietnam. He's been married 3 times. He's suffered enough. I don't think he should have to suffer anymore. He gave up everything to raise me 31 years ago, and he's literally the guy that would give his shirt off the back for you. He'd give you money whenever you needed it. He let my friends always stay here when they had problems at their home with their family or anything like that. And, the fates haven't been kind to us. So what we're doing is I was originally going to start selling off my video game collection, and the guys here on the row were pretty much going to break my legs if I did that, because they were like, this is like what you've done. This is what you're passionate about. You've worked hard for this. You shouldn't have to give away something you worked so hard for. So we're going to be doing a charity live stream for the month of September for me, much like what we did for Toys for Tots, where we raised a lot of money for those kids. We really helped a lot of kids out there for that thing. And a lot of people probably are asking, well, why can't your dad get any? Isn't there any kind of veteran services? And I'll tell you folks, in New England, it's not a thing. My father and I, between both our combined income, we are actually considered well below the poverty level, and we've been denied veterans housing. We've been denied state housing funding. It's rough. It's taken its toll on my father. I mean, he's 79 years old now. I don't know how much longer he has left. I want to give him the best life possible, like he gave me for years, for however long he has left. So we're going to be doing these live streams. We've reached out to a few people to talk about this, and we've actually got someone who really wants to work with us a lot, and it's Adam Grossman, who is the face model for Piers Nivens. He streams as well, and he wants to join us. We're kind of trying to put everything together for this next month. Our plan is, we'll do live streams on YouTube, and because that's like where our biggest audience is right now. We do have a Twitch channel, which we will get into in a little bit. But with this, we will be playing, video games. Maybe we won't play some horror games. Maybe we'll play things like Doom or Condemned. Maybe some Resident Evil, because that's what you guys love. That's why you're here. Yeah. So for that being said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get autographs from all the people that we've worked with so far in the business. The voice actors from like Fear Effect, from Resident Evil. Maybe reach out to some others that we haven't been able to just yet. Let them know the situation. Recently, I had just met, thanks to friends of mine, I was able to meet Troy Baker and Nolan North, who hopefully we'd be able to get on a podcast. Maybe they could sign some stuff for people, and the way to get access to these things, what we want to do, and you'll get like some row cards from me and the gang, all personally signed to you. Yeah. And what we'll do for that is, for whenever you donate a certain amount, maybe like $25, $30 or something, you will get an autograph. And the reason why it might have to be a little high like that is because, shipping and packaging isn't cheap. I'm going to reach out to a couple people I know who have very successful Patreons. These are like the girls that do cosplay and stuff, and the ones that I know that do this a lot and stuff. So, we want to make sure that you guys give something back, because my father and I have always been the people that, we were too proud to ask for help. But I'd like my father to have, we've rented the home we've been in for like 25 years, a little over that. And, I don't want to just take people's money. And my father doesn't either. He's like, I don't want people's money. Don't do that. We'll be fine. But this is one time where it's hard to weather the storm. So I want to make sure those who donate the big amounts are taken care of. And if you just want to donate even $5, just to have a heart and just say, hey, even $1, it all goes towards the right things. And, I can't thank the guys here enough for of Ali, AJ, and JJ. They all do tremendous work. We're a huge team. I didn't want to ask for this, but they didn't want me selling my video games. And so we are going to have, we'll have updates for you guys. There is a GoFundMe right now that Kendo Gun Shop himself had set up. I didn't want him to do it originally, but he did it.
I'll link that down below, so anybody who wants to check that out can definitely do so.
Mm-hmm. And it's not even just us that it's going to be helping Tony out either. It's going to be a couple of other YouTubers coming on to actually help and play games with us.
Basically,
it's now we don't really have plans completely for what we're doing. Yeah. But I do have Bundicott. He's coming on, and he's bringing one of his friends. So you're gonna get a little Scottish in there. You get a little Ireland.
Yeah. I have Bob Spaghetti's coming over to agree to do it. So we're just gonna have a cool event like we did for Toys for Tots, and any of the money that is earned during that, that you guys can, obviously, we'll help use that to help Tony out, and he desperately needs it now. So we want to do a really fun event for you guys on the channel. I think we're each going to take a week, guys. Each of us will stream one day of each week, and I don't know what games we'll be playing yet, but we're all planning it just so you guys have kind of an update of what's going on, what to look forward to next month.
Exactly. Oh, in the chat right now, JJ, I put the link.
Oh, cool. All right.
So if you just want to paste that into this is in the Skype chat and everything. So if you want to put that in the live stream chat and everything, so people will know. Because like I said, Kendo started this. We've already raised $84 on it. So Kendo, I know you're watching. Thank you again for doing that, man. I know you got a lot going on. So thank you for helping start that. I greatly appreciate it. The story is all there. Pretty much what I've told you. Like I said, anything you guys can do will help us out, and we'll make sure that we will take care of you as well.
Yes. All right.
So thank you for listening to that. I didn't want to get too mushy and start crying and everything, but thank you all for listening to this. So with that being said, thank you. Thank you also for when you donated to Toys for Tots, because I grew up not with a lot of money because of what my mother was. She took my father's money all the time for alcohol and drugs, and you know, Christmas was rough sometimes, and my father still pulled through and did what he could. So, you know, I know what it's like to be a kid and not get a good Christmas sometimes. So thank you for helping out with that, and thank you for helping this, and thank you just for the support in general you guys give us, whether it's donating to us, following us on social media, sending us ideas. We all love it. We read everything we can that comes from you guys. Between the four of us, we do what we can to answer you guys, and it's a great help. So again, I can't thank you all enough.
Yeah, I actually want to stress on what Tony just said. We do read everything you guys put. We can't always respond because it takes forever to go through these comments and on messages on Facebook and Twitter and all that. But we do sit down and we make sure we go through every message that gets sent to us. So, you know, guys, you're not being ignored. Just give us time to respond.
Yeah.
So the sad stuff is over now. I apologize for that. So I think we can talk about the other big thing that's been happening for us.
What? Okay, what would that be?
Okay, well, as you guys know, a while back we did announce Vigil: Prophecy of the Bestowed. It's going to be our own game. We have a lot of artists, and we got a developer working on it. His name's Moonglint. The guy is phenomenal in the work that he does. This is something that me and the gang thought would be a cool thing. We're shocked we got this far.
Yeah.
But, you know, all of us are going to be in the game for now, like the four main guys plus Bob Spaghetti. We're not sure if we can add anything else in, but we do development streams. And I got to tell you guys, I took the reins for the development stream while Moonglint was doing. I was answering a question, and Uni Comics, who is doing the artwork for us, was there as well. And you guys had amazing questions. You had me like answering so many that I loved. They were very unique, and you asking about the game, and so many of you were excited. I know it was a while before you saw another development stream, but these things do take time. We don't want to show you everything and have nothing be excited for the game. So, you know, the game will be free to release. You guys don't have to ask do you have to donate to get access to it or anything. You know, it will be free for PC only. Console we don't know yet. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it.
Yeah.
But for everything else that, you guys are interested in, we are doing this game still. It's, like I said, it's one guy working on it. His name's Moonglint. So, again, give us some time.
For free, yeah.
Yeah, for free. Remember, we're not charging, so there's no incentive to hey, let's get this done quicker. It's kind of like, hey,
we're having
you have
fun.
the time, put effort into it, and let's make something cool for everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is like another way that we can give back to you guys, because you've all loved our personalities, whether it's the Beard of Doom, the Shades of Doom, the Broom of Doom, everything like that. All the stuff we've put out and stuff. You guys show us a lot of respect. In many ways that a lot of us, again, at 64,000 subscribers right now, this has been a big thing. So as much as you donate to us, we're throwing it back at you guys with all the content, whether it's sharing cosplay pictures or artwork or stories and our community nights on Twitch and all these great things that we've done. Again, this game is our way of giving back to you as well.
It's a passion project for us.
Yeah, it is. So, anything you guys want to add about the game that I probably already covered by accident?
It's going to be fucking awesome.
Get prepared for craziness. It's going to be an awesome experience. It's going to be an awesome ride to get this done, and we're going to keep you guys updated every step of the way.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely have updates coming out. Right now, we're just trying to get, all the stuff in order. We have a lot of the background stuff, everything all figured out. Everything's all planned. Everything's, falling into place. But, like we said, one guy. So once we got a good amount of stuff to talk about and we go over it to make sure we're not spoiling anything, we'll definitely update you guys. So there'll be more coming out. So yes, Vigil is happening. So that's really cool. I'm also the next thing I want to talk about is I don't know if a lot of you guys seen, but I was working on a Resident Evil mod that's called the JJ mod. It basically puts me into the Resident Evil game, and then I react to everybody like a normal person would. So when they say stupid shit like "what was that," I say it was a gunshot, just stuff like that. So it's been something I've been kind of working on in the background, and I am still working on it. And I'm actually going to be adding in the ROE Team members. So you guys are going to hear Ali, Tony, AJ, Bob Spaghetti, and more in the game. It's going to be a fun mod for Resident Evil 1 on PC. That once it's done, I'll put it all together and I'll put it out for free. But yeah, you guys can also check that out on the channel. I got a few updates on like the Twitter and Facebook. So if you guys are following the Residents of Evil there, you can check out just little things. That's at ROE Network. So there's also the Resident Evil, the JJ mod coming out. And then we got something.
If you guys, hold on, I gotta talk about this.
Sure.
If you guys really like my Boston accent so much and everything, you're really gonna love this. I went full Mark Wahlberg with my voice in that. So.
I don't know, JJ. Is there a way for you to play that video on the stream itself?
What video? What video?
That video when you're in the main hall with the Chimera.
Oh yeah. Okay, here I can. Let me pull it up real quick. You guys.
All right, you guys got to see this.
Yeah, you guys are gonna laugh. We can give you a sneak peek of what he's created so far. You're gonna love this.
This part isn't necessarily going to be in the game, but it was a fun little thing when I was working on mods and adding enemies. I kind of broke it, and so I just kind of added this little thing in there for fun, just to give you kind of an idea of the humor of the game. Like I said, I don't know exactly if this part's going to be in there, but here, let me see if I can find it. Chimera.
Oh, and I was laughing earlier, too, because Kendo said, are we going to get the origins of AJ's rage?
That would be cool.
All right. So I guess while you're looking for that, let's do the Twitch promo real quick.
That's right.
So for everybody who doesn't know, the ones that are only YouTube, we do have a Twitch channel, ROE Network on Twitch, and usually somebody's there nightly. It's been a lot of AJ and Tony holding it down for a while, knocking out all kinds of variety of horror games as well as some other games in there, which is really cool. Usually in the evenings. Yeah, he played DuckTales, the Rage compilation. So it's cool. You'll see us on there playing some good stuff. You know, like I saw asking about us to play Outlast. That is one that's going to be on the channel. There's a whole bunch of good games coming, as well as more Resident Evil content on there. And it's a chance for you as viewers to talk with us more often. You know, ask questions. Usually one of us is live there, so you can go in and ask questions about us or about the channel, things that are going on.
To give an example, we recently just got done playing, what was it, Parasite Eve 1, Dino Crisis, what were some, Corpse Party, Ollie was playing Corpse Party.
Resident Evil 0.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So we're going through a lot of classics, but go ahead, Ollie.
Yeah, you're gonna see some classics as well as some cool different things on there, like Resident Evil 7 VR will be on there, Doom VR will be on there, all kinds of just really cool stuff. And we're about to hit, I think we're at 936 followers. We're trying to get to 1K, and just keep growing. And y'all's support means a lot. Something that we want to dedicate more time into that gives you more than just the YouTube videos when we're live or when we're doing stuff for YouTube. So you get a lot more through there too.
So go check it out. Yeah. As you can see in the channel right here, we have the link. AJ's been posting it at twitch.tv/ROE Network. One of the things that we like doing this is because, you know, we don't want to, like, some people might not like certain games. Like, I mean, if I started playing DuckTales on the Residents of Evil YouTube live channel and stuff like that, I think people would think we got hacked or something. But, you know, the reason why we do this is because YouTube's algorithm is completely screwed up with stuff. So, like, you know, you might not know we go live, or you might not see it, or you might not see it afterwards. So, because a lot of people always ask us, it's like, hey, like, are we going to get more live streams? So Twitch is a way for us to stream pretty much whenever we want without screwing with anything. And it's a good thing to have, because I said, like, we're doing it almost like nightly. We've got a lot of games to play, whether they're horror related or not. You'll see some fighting games from me. And we've got other things coming down the line for the channel as well for that. So between the ROE Network here, the Residents of Evil on YouTube and on Twitch.
Actually, there is something big we need to mention about Twitch, too. We do streams with everybody. We play with all of you guys. We were doing Outbreak with Proxy and Kendall recently, Zombie Girl. You know, so if we play multiplayer games, you guys are more than welcome to join in with us, too.
Yeah, we have community night and patron nights that are specifically geared towards playing with the fans and everything. So they're, you know, when we schedule them, we'll let you guys know. But there's that. There's also IRL nights where we hang out and kind of get into what the fans are doing, as well as maybe talk about some things that are going on with Resident Evil or ROE. It's more of an informal podcast that includes the fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, there's just a lot going on over there. So go check it out.
All right, and I got that video up now. I'll play a quick clip of Resident Evil, the JJ mod. Here we go. Let me just make sure it's lined up here. There we go. Good enough. There
This
you
is
go.
gonna be good.
I don't know,
Get
you guys
ready
can
to laugh.
There you go. It's really quick.
Focus.
JJ, focus.
Focus.
What the
You
fuck
still
is that?
sizing it? Because I'm still watching you move all stuff
No,
around.
it's going. You guys keep talking.
Okay.
Here, let me rewind it.
Shh.
What the fuck is that?
Don't move.
I'm scared. Okay, that was it, basically.
Why is that in there? I haven't seen this.
I put that there. I was playing with mods, and like it just kept swooping down. Oh, let me move that out of here. It kept swooping
That's
down, like at my character.
Wesker's just like, this is my pet Igor.
And like it was waiting to attack me until the cutscene was over. And so I was like, oh god, I gotta make something with this. I have to while it's here. There's so many fun things to do with, like, I don't know, breaking the game and adding enemies and adding items. I probably won't have a lot of it in the actual game because I don't want to break the what the game is. But a lot of that sort of style of humor.
That's pretty awesome. That's funny.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's
All
fun.
right, what else we got going on? I think that's gonna be about it. Hey. Oh no, we got one more thing.
I
Siren
just gotta
Song.
actually say something before you continue. Sorry,
Oh.
I was seeing this in the chat. All you guys saying you don't have the money to donate and everything like that, don't feel bad about that. Like I said, when this stream happens, you'll know. If you want to donate, that's fine. If not, the best thing you can do, any social media you have, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, share when we're going to go live, share when we do go live, share the advertisements for it that we're going to be putting up, the banners and stuff. That's the best way that you can help us if you can't donate any kind of money to either like for me and my father or for the channel itself. Because
I was going to say, too, you can tweet out or share on Facebook the GoFundMe link as well, which is right here.
Yeah.
That
exactly.
is more than enough help.
Yep. Oh, and here's something from an unlikely enemy. The Umbrella Corporation donated $9.99.
Yeah.
$9.99.
They were
this
our
is a
friend
code Veronica.
all along.
I will take this one.
Oh,
So
okay.
I am trying to platinum RE Code Veronica. Well, I was so close, like 20 minutes away, and forgot Alexei can one-hit kill you, and I ran straight into her. Resident Evil trolled me hard. I am sorry.
Rip of death.
Yeah.
Thank you
Oh,
so
better
much for
luck
that
next
Umbrella
time.
Corporation.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about before you get into the last thing.
Yeah.
Do we have another team stream coming up anytime soon? What's the plan?
We're probably gonna do that after our event, our September event for Tony.
Okay.
Tony's I think we'll probably do. I'm not sure what we're gonna do yet, but we'll probably get back into regular streaming after we're done with these.
Or until we get done with the stream, we could transfer the team streams to Twitch for now.
Yeah, we could do that too. We could
Yeah.
we could do that. Yeah, but I mean, just make sure to check out us on Twitch, because our
Yeah.
social media will
I'll
update you
repost the
guys on
link.
what's going
There's a
on.
lot going on.
Yeah.
But as far as YouTube goes, the main, the ones we do here, probably October.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? Before we get into our last question, I have a chat for
Oktoberfest.
chat or question for chat.
Question for chat.
Do you guys want to see us redo Outbreak File 2 as a team, the full team now?
Let us know. Let us know in the comments and in the chat.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
We stupidly started off with Outbreak 2 because the team listened to me, and I said that one didn't have the online. So
It was still fun,
Yeah.
but yeah, we could probably at some point redo that with the whole team. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about
Says, yeah, do it.
is
Last thing.
Resident Evil Siren Song is a fan project. It's a fan film for Resident Evil that's actually in development right now. It looks fantastic. It's basically everything a Resident Evil fan would want to see in a fan sort of movie. But we were lucky enough to get a chat with the director of it, and we have a ROE Podcast interview coming out soon. So you guys will get to hear about what Resident Evil Siren Song is, everything it's about, and then, kind of get you ready for when it's actually released, which is going to be sometime soon as well. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about that a little bit. That was a really fun interview we did.
Oh,
I,
I'll let you
I
take
would
that
love
one
to talk
over and
about
I'll
it, but
post
my
the link.
team left me out of it.
Oh no, did we?
What was the reason for that?
No, I think it was either I think it was something that I had to do with my father, or it
Yeah.
was like a photo shoot or something like that. Everything's running together, so I can't remember.
Yeah. So it was me, JJ, and AJ, and we talked with the guys from the main guy who's doing Siren Song, and it really is an interesting interview because you get to see how something like this can come together with passion and a lot of his own money. Now, I'm not gonna say a lot because it's all his own money.
Yeah.
And just how cool it is to see a community like the fan base jump on board for something like this, and the quality looks good. So we're going to be chopping that up, and we'll be coming out here this month, as well as hopefully some future updates about that. But I think you guys are going to enjoy it. It's not, our typical where we go out and find an established voice actor who's been doing something for the series, and this is a more of a fan thing. With hopefully this will be successful for them.
Yeah. It looks really cool. So, yeah, we'll definitely be giving you guys some more on that. It looks like AJ right now is sharing in the chat the actual Facebook page you guys can go follow. If you want to keep up to date with Resident Evil Siren Song, that's facebook.com/residentevil.sirensong. Sirens Song. So, that's going to be coming soon, guys.
Okay,
Yes.
Actually, before we end that, Kara is saying she's having trouble donating to the GoFundMe. She says she tried to donate, but it came up with an error saying the link isn't ready.
I'll have to look into that.
Kendo,
Not
just
sure.
look into that later.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Now I definitely want to go around, and I would like to thank all of our patrons and sponsors for helping support the channel, helping support the podcast. I'm going to start with our all the way at the bottom with our. Let me pull it up real quick.
Okay. That's not bad. So it's just
No.
the lowest
I didn't mean it
tier.
like that. I mean like from because we have different tier.
By the way,
sorry, I
just
wasn't
entry
thinking.
level.
question.
Yeah.
Just to answer the question from earlier, everybody does want to see Outbreak File 2.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, from our sword key holders, yes, because we have different tier levels. Each level offers different perks for you guys, and the sword key is the base. That's the first perk. So, starting with our sword key holders, we have Michael McLowan, P. Thomas, Nathan Grove, Robbie, Robert Crawford, Benjamin J. Harkins, Chris Anselmo, Wake Okami, Nisa Hall, Potatoes and Lead, Lexian, Miki, Damon Ian, Ernesto Malave, Kalian Fox, Petros L. Lueno, Peter Pickler, Charlie Robinson, Jeff Marcotte, Sarah Baxter, Whitney Niles, Amy Adams, Vilkis, Corey Marcoulier, May Nigan, Arturo Rosales, and Warrior. So thank you guys. Now we're going to be moving on.
So what level is that? That's the starting out level, right?
Yep,
that's
that's
what,
a sword
a dollar,
key holders.
$1?
Yeah, the $1 Patreons. Yep.
Okay, everybody, for $1, you too can have JJ butcher your name.
Yeah, definitely. I figured because usually I pre-record out whenever I'm reading these off. I was like, oh, I'm just jumping right into it now. We're getting thrown right in. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be butchering left and right. Okay, now moving over
Thank you
to
guys.
our.
Thank you. $1 is awesome.
Yes, thank you. Well, thank you guys all so much. But to our armor key holders, we have Glenn Page, Random Task 337, Muriel, Connor Jordan, Corey Scott, Trent Gordon, Lance Christopher, Kalian Zielinski, the original Fat Ass, Robert Kudowoski, Marcos Dos Diaz, Brian Salazar, Dimitri Powell, Bryce Ray Parker, JC Wesker, Yazjin, 3x7, Lurwin, and Tyler Seth Parsley. Now going down to our shield key holders, we have Scott Mendeville, Riley Claypool, Gary Starostka, sorry about that, BIYH Productions, Elizabeth Wellborn, Sean Gillen, Brad Benson, Edward Golodi, Vincent Mayer, Digisi Gangan, Cursed Toast. They're getting harder. Charlie April,
Yeah, right?
Scott Yanos, Shane Wine, Kungmin Yang, and RJ Mitchell. All right, that was a tough one. And then now we're going to be going down to our helmet key holders, our key masters. Nate Nelson, Content on Demand, Michael Cake, James Kelly, Kuhn Cannon, Andrew Asjes, John Klein, Ryan Say, Latriel Havens, Stuart Barclay, Resident Elect, Ahmed Akatim, Thomas McGarry, Tom, Luke Davis, Leon2394, Bailey Ritter, Liam Davis, Umbrella Corporation, and Steve Jacobson. And now our masters of unlocking our highest Patreon level members. They are the ones who are sponsoring this show. We have Lex, Kaiserin, Sigma Later, Chandler Mitchell, Mike Frassetti, Dustin Lewis, Kendall Gunshop, Santiago Alcantara, Trent Overton, and Proxy One. Woo! That is crazy, you guys. All those names. Thank you guys all so much. That was a lot. Thank you guys. That seriously really helps out a ton. And I haven't done this yet, but I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors on YouTube for helping with the channel as well. That's like just like a patron. Let me just get into it real quick. All right. And then our sponsors are Dead silence. Subscribers. Oh no, that's not it. They changed it. Oh, they call it memberships now. So our members. That's why I couldn't find it. All right, K-92, Mason Ohelk, Brad Vickers, Tenchi, Chris Lambert, The Ravenkist, Stuart Piercy, Umbrella Corporation, Kanji08, Nate Wesseling, sorry, Rage Harris, Drapery Falls, Hatsumiku, Randomly Entertaining, Jeff Marcotte, Hated, 7 Days a Die, OGRE Freak, Brett Schwitzer, Santiago Alcantara, Kaiserin, Lerwin, Proxy Music, and Kendall Gun Shop. Woo! Thank you guys all so much. And to our mods, thank you guys for hanging out and keeping chat in check. That's going to be it for this episode of the Residents of Evil podcast. I really hope you guys all enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for listening. Let us know in the comments what you thought about the things we went over. Let us know if you liked this episode, if you guys want to see more. We're definitely going to try to do more podcasts with the entire team in the future. So not just ROE podcasts with interviews, but actual team podcasts talking about all the stuff that's going on. H-Force Gaming, thank you very much for that super chat. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. We'll see you guys again soon. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.